Hits by the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Colors, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the shine blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
And welcome back to Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Francis Villa, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today we are going to talk about a psychological way of thinking, right? You know what, guys? And you know what, disclaimer, guys, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but those of you who may not understand, usually it's more of something that just makes you feel better, right? That's all it really means. So getting into that, I see on social media, I see a lot of stuff that, and this is not a political thing, but this is what I'm headed with that, in a sense. I won't stay on it too long, guys. So the thing is that I've seen a lot of posts about, let's just say, our leader and our where it's obviously AI, it's obviously AI situations where, either gets slapped, gets hit, and so on and so forth, right? I mean, it's clearly fake, but people are so ecstatic and so happy about it and laughing and commenting and posting and reposting and all this other stuff. And I've seen people punching back with pictures and do stuff to pictures and whatever the case is, right? My point of that is that that makes you feel better, then by all means. I'm sorry, I can't sit here and pretend like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, hey, no, if that makes you feel better, okay. The fact of the matter is, it does not change the outcome. Things remain the same, right? So, again, as I've stated before, you're doing nothing. So, with that as well, I've also seen people go to the extent, and there's one thing to clout chase, there's one thing to clickbait, and we've seen enough of that stuff on social media. That stuff's not fun. But it becomes also what I'm looking for, repetitive. It becomes repetitive, and it gets old pretty fast. That sometimes I've experienced people who clearly have a broken spirit and will go to the extreme to show something that or display something that's not necessarily true. Now, we can look at that as great marketing, which is what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, there are boundaries. You don't just add your name to a flyer or anything and try to fool the people that you went for a certain purpose when you went to spectate. Let's just put it that way. It could, maybe it would have worked in the early 2000s, but not in today's world. So again, it's more psychological than it is, fact. It just makes that person feel better about it. But there's a fine line there where you're going a little too far. And again, due to the fact that you're not changing the outcome, the real outcome, the reality of the outcome, that's not changing. So therefore, it's really doing nothing. You basically are making a fool of yourself. And that's the thing where I think that we as people on social media, which is the world we currently live in, we need to take a step back a little bit, because the internet can be a very harsh place. It's good. It has its pros and cons, and it can be good, but it can also be very dangerous. And for the most part, the internet is your judge and jury on a lot of things. That's the world we live in. The internet will convict you of anything before a real court system will. So therefore, we need to be careful what we post, such as posting our locations and where I'm at a certain point in time. And I'm not saying that because I'm saying, oh, well, I think I'm famous and yada, yada, yada. No, it's just we need to be a little bit more careful with everything as far as those situations. And in saying what I'm saying to you guys about this psychological way of thinking, I don't mean no disrespect, no harm towards it, but I'm simply stating it that as adults, we should carry ourselves a little bit better than that, a little more mature than that. Again, I've stated before, get involved. Don't. Yeah, that what you're doing is not doing anything. Get involved. Get involved. Make that change. So therefore, with that being said, guys, I'm not gonna make this too long. I just think that sometimes we have access to, we have an outlet, which is this what we're seeing, to lash out without really giving it some thought or looking at things of what it looks like. We kind of jump and live in that moment without really taking a step back and realizing that perhaps it's not translating across as we think it should, and because maybe we get our closest friends and some people that laugh at something. Let's be honest about it. Sometimes people put laughing emojis, people laughing LOL, laughing my butt off, whatever it is, right? And they're not really laughing. That's a fact. Just as when people put the prayer thing, they're not always praying. It just looks good and you keep scrolling. So that's another thing where it gives people this drive to continue to post this stuff, and you really think you're really making something happen, and that's not the case. And to continue to try to redo things and try to fix things and simply to make yourself feel better, I'm all for that. But I think that sometimes in such cases as these, the approach to making yourself feel better needs to be revamped, and maybe take a step back and maybe look at things and say, you know what, maybe I need to do something different. I need to I'm seeing what I'm doing here. And I'm saying we didn't do that stuff back in the day because there was no social media. There's a lot of stuff that I said in front of people and did that I look back and I said, oh, what an idiot I am. You know, what, you know. And sometimes, the unfortunate part, sometimes that impression sticks with you because some people will see you years later and think you're still on that same page as when you last left off. Not understanding that you have moved forward and you are no longer that same person. As I said before, again, we're not the same person we were last year or even a month ago for that matter. Things change. So, therefore, I think being on our you know, a little bit more reserved on how we carry ourselves on social media because it is there for all of us. And I'm not saying that you can't say what you want. You have that freedom of speech. But that doesn't mean you gotta act out sometimes the way some of us do. That's including myself. I just think it needs to we need to just take a back seat for a little bit and look what we're doing as adults. I'm speaking because I've seen adults do it. Had we been in, you know, 18, 17, whatever, 16, it'd be a different story. But when you're over 40 and you're still doing that kind of stuff, it's not a good look. So anyway, guys, sometimes it's best to keep things to yourself. And if it makes you feel better to hit a punching bag with somebody's picture, you don't have to put it on social media and scream and yell and cheer and hope that the people on social media cheer you on for that because they, you know, and makes you feel like you really did something when in reality you didn't change the outcome at all. Everything still remains the same. So let's take a step back and let's grow up a little bit, folks. With that, this is Two-Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.
It's always shining, it's burning up my chest to the core. So therefore I can't be ignored. With the Conan sword, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm the predator. My blood is turning two-face green. Check my temperature, you ready for the lecture? As I come with the stretcher, knowledge is the key to everything, so watch your temper. When it comes to the storyteller, I am the treasure. I'm in the laboratory, so please call me Dexter. The music is my pleasure, for 30 years strong. It's two-face ghetto ballin' to the heart with golden arms and flyer. We the ravens up in the sky. We ain't gon' stop till I retire.
Just a song before I go, to whom it may concern.
Haters shake the fist, suckers pitching me rolling. Why you so mad? Why you so serious? You're in my rear view like the slow and delirious. Keep on mashing, getting plenty action. The home of the G's and pimps, I love it with a passion. Throw it up, it's California, where the sun lays to rest like every day. The home of the color rack, swap meets and bangers. Chuck Taylor's Lolos and them real dope slangers. This is reality, it's where I stay. Along the Pacific in the state of CA. Golden State, from Frisco to Compton and back to Central Cali where the party keeps rocking. It's a California state of mind, and you can't be mad, that's just how we rock.